feeling like I'm academics. Can't ride away.
Give people, I hope when you're watching me, the reason why what we do, I know my name is DJ Akademiks, but even though that, what we have here is the Academy. Through all the laughter, the bullshit, the fun, I hope you guys get a little bit of business insight. You get a little bit more knowledge, and you get on other channels about news stories or political stuff, or maybe even, criminal cases, or just music in general, the industry. That's what we strive to do. We've kind of spoken about Vlad and Boosie and whatever's going on with them. I want to give you this last thing, and this is for all my entrepreneurs out here. I've told the story before. If you're not a stranger to this channel, you probably have heard the story 10 times. It's okay. I'll tell you for the 11th. I always said to people, I truly believe I was on the best hip-hop show of all time. Me and Joe Budden, we had a show called Everyday Struggle. It was on Complex Networks. I really believe we did the damn thing. While at Complex, I watched media change. When me and Joe walked up in that building, they had about probably like 150 print staff. So people that would write articles, people who were all about, editorial and this and stuff, but it was writing articles. It was about going to a website to read articles. When we walked up in there and we did our thing to make sure that we were compatible in doing a show, and they knew we were starting the show, and the show starts with a bang, the next day, or maybe it was the week, we showed up. There was a bunch of computers sitting in the corner. They cleared out 2 floors. They fired like 100 people at least. I think it was about 200 people they fired. That was Complex changing their whole stance, that they didn't want to be majority a print media company anymore. They wanted to be video. They learned quickly what worked for them. Joe Ack on screen. This is explosive. Fuck writing articles. This is a new wave. That show was such an amazing show. I'm still very fortunate that I was a part of it. I'm fortunate that I shared the time on there with Joe Budden. And I was always saddened when it ended. You guys know this. I really wanted it to continue because I knew I was making history. I knew how great it was. I do remember, though, the day that I knew that Everyday Struggle was over. And it was before you guys knew. That day was the day I realized one very important thing in business. Complex, through it being a company that was huge, but then it was trying to establish this video department, and they were very lackadaisical with information. Right? A lot of people had access to how much money they were making, how much the deals were bringing in, and they didn't care too much about it because everybody that worked at Complex mostly worked for Complex. Even if they knew how much money Complex was making, it's none of their business. You get an hourly rate. That's it. Well, it didn't really apply to people like me and Joe because we were seen as vendors. We were contracted. We were outside the company, but working with the company. The day I knew Everyday Struggle was over was the day Joe Budden walked into that office and he figured out how much Complex was getting paid compared to what we got paid. We had gotten a sponsorship from Spotify, and that sponsorship seemingly was like $700,000 to do like 6 or 7 episodes, which is damn near like 100,000 per. Consecutive weeks. Remember, there's 4 weeks in a month. Essentially, they wanted to give me and Joe Budden a bump of like $20,000. So, like 700,000 come in, they want to give us, let's just call it 50. So 650,000 they were going to keep. Now I'm pretty sure they were like, oh, well, they had other stuff. And, there was this whole idea of, no, well, they paid for more stuff. They paid for some stuff on our site, this and third. The moment Joe figured that out, Joe said, I'm not doing that fucking Friday show. That's supposed to be the Spotify show. no matter what happened. I wasn't that big on money. I was doing really good on YouTube. Wasn't that big. Like, I just wanted to keep making history. But Joe, he's a businessman and he's his own man. He said he died before getting back on that fucking camera. And once that happened, it devolved into multiple other things. And the show basically was fractured. I was doing the show with sitting guests, like other people that's subbing in for Joe. And negotiation or renegotiation was a shit show. Shit was over, man. Joe subsequently leaves. He goes to sign with Spotify. And I could imagine the money that Spotify was paying Complex for me and him, he probably got his fair share then, right? Why did I tell you that story? Because I learned in that moment there's a critical importance in between your employees and you being the business. What does that mean? If Apple told, I don't know, well, they probably already know, but you can't defeat Apple. The point is, if you told somebody how much money you made off of them, after a while, they're going to come knocking for more. And most jobs, they usually tell you, you can't speak about how much money you're making. Why? Because in life, you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. This idea, my worth. You get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. And as I said with Everyday Struggle, the moment Joe realized how much money was coming in, and he wanted to get pieces of that money, when they told him no, he told them, I bet they want me more than they wanted that deal. And he was down to walk for it, and he did. As an entrepreneur, you got to shield how much your employees know that you're making. I'm going to give you quick examples. I knew No Jumper was going to blow up. The moment Adam admitted that he was making $1 million a month, you can't pay no nigga $300 to go do a whole show when you go brag about making $1 million a month. It's not going to make sense. Everybody now wants to renegotiate. When I did my master class at Ruin and Ruri and Mealy Mall, those two ungrateful bitches for mentioning me in a disrespectful manner, I ruined Ruri's life. Okay? Ruined it. But the reason why I did it and how I did it was I realized quickly, oh, these boys, they're Joe employees, but they're talking like they're bosses. I played on their emotions. They were weak. They were cosplaying as something they weren't. And when I held fire to their feet, they basically, I didn't even have to get Joe to fire them. They left. Beautiful. Why did I say all these things? Because Vlad is going to learn this same important lesson. What Vlad has started with this Boosie thing is Vlad, in feeling himself a bit, has been, Vlad started this new ecosystem of paying interviewees. I still don't believe in it. I don't interview. I got all the opinions in the world. I don't need another nigga to give me their opinion. I got my opinion. Vlad, his motto is different. He wants personalities that are interchangeable, that he could interview for their life story, but then later he wants them to comment on topics. He compensates them as if they're hosts on a TV show. Well, here's the problem. Not everyone was getting compensated. And also the compensation varied. For example, Boosie was getting $25,000. There's some people that go up in there and get $1,500. There's some people that go up in there and they do it for the free ski. I'll give you an example. And I'm pretty transparent. I've never charged Vlad $1. We do a swap. I respect him. He's an OG in what we do. We do a swap. Hey, listen, you come on my platform, I'll come on your platform. I don't have to watch your pockets. I'm good. But a lot of these guys, they look at this as a job. I know I'm being slow with this. What am I talking about? Ever since Boosie has put this out, that he was disgruntled over a $5,000 raise, Vlad one-upped him and put out the real number of what he was getting paid. Let me tell you the truth. None of these niggas on Vlad TV interview knew anybody was getting paid over $10,000, $20,000. So when Vlad comes out and said, oh, I've been paying this guy $25,000, everybody now is in shambles. What? It's like realizing you've been stocking a shelf next to Pablo, but except Pablo gets 50 an hour, you've been getting 8. So this is what I'm telling you about how Vlad has fucked himself. Everybody now is about to take stock on what they're getting paid, and this is how it works in business. I'll use the everyday struggle thing again to make my point. When Joe was leaving Everyday Struggle, it was clear he could make a deal. You know what he said to me? And I thought it was a real nigga move. He said, Ak, and he dapped me up. He said, Ak, stick them boys up. You know what that meant? They can't get me, so they got double the budget for you. Stick them up. Here's what's happening. Boosie's, right now, Vlad don't got Boosie. So everybody's looking at it like, oh, you were paying 25? And you were only giving me 1,500? It's time to talk about raises. So Vlad is now, and I don't know if this hubris or him being pompous, he's put himself in a position that all of his guests that usually get paid and the ones that were getting paid a lot less, they're now coming at him for more money. What we're going to see is a trickle-down effect of people demanded more than Vlad's probably down to pay. I know you're still saying, Ak, what are you talking about? So Boosie is doing his own interview. But a guy who I thought was like really locked in with Vlad, apparently he's kicked it off first. Don't know who I'm talking about? I'll show you here. His name is Aries Spears. He recently announced on his podcast that him and Vlad haven't seen eye to eye. And this just started since he realized that Vlad was paying Boosie $25,000 an episode. You know what he's saying? Well, if you paying him that, what you finna pay me? Just listen, chat. This is why, and you know, my overall theme is you can never let them employees know what you're really getting. You're really paying people. Because now every nigga who sits on Vlad couch, they all think they worth a little bit more. And they all coming for it. They gonna say, you don't got Boosie no more. You need us. Check this out.
Now, I want you to put your business/Jew hat on.
A Vlad hat?
Yes. Matter of fact, when Andy puts his Jew hat on, it comes with the Hasidic curls.
I guess I don't wear them.
Yeah. So when he puts it on.
I'm going to make a hat like that.
2 curls.
I'm going to make a hat like that for the podcast.
That's hilarious. Tell me what you think of this. So, you know, Vlad pays me to be on. And
he's probably mad that you said that because then everybody else wants to get paid.
No, he pays people.
Everybody? He pays?
Yeah, but we all get different pay. So people have said, yo, the most popular guest that Vlad has on, Lord Jamar, Tony Yayo, Godfrey, Boozy, and Aries. I'm the only one left. Godfrey stopped because of the beef with Farrakhan, as did Lord Jamar. Tony Yayo just doesn't do it anymore.
Interesting. I didn't know Yayo didn't. Yayo started doing a podcast with Uncle Murder.
And Boozy wanted a raise. Come to find out, Boozy wanted $35,000 an episode.
Wow.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. This is why at jobs, I know at your job they usually say you can't tell your coworkers where you're getting paid. This is why. Because the moment you realize that nigga's getting the bag, you're like, I work harder than that nigga. I do more than that nigga. I'm more important than that nigga.
He was getting $25,000.
Wow.
So I don't get nowhere near that. And, you know, obviously it's based on the numbers because a lot of Boozy's clips are in the millions. Now, again, I've had a few clips in the millions, but a lot of my stuff, the full interview, probably ranges around 300,000 to 500,000. So I basically said to Vlad, I go, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to rape you financially. I know I'm not going to ask you for what you gave Boozy. But, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Break bread.
Break bread. And he goes, well, your numbers don't generate what Boozy generate. And so I showed him a bunch of, people that quotes and on YouTube and shit like that and on my phone. And one person said, hey, man, I only buy Vlad subscriptions when I know he's interviewing you. Once the interview's over, I cancel the subscription. Another guy said, hey, man, Aries is...
Now, I hope you guys are understanding where this is going. Vlad has opened up Pandora's box into people now trying to value how much they're worth on his platform, but that worth is not only based on X's and O's. You know what he said to Boosie? Boosie used to do 6 million views. Now you're doing low fives. I can't give you a raise. Well, this guy, Aries Spears, he's taking it from a different angle. You know what he's saying? Well, you have memberships. People would pay to get a membership because of me. Why am I not getting a cut of that? You see what's happened? This is why Vlad has now mentioned how much Boosie's getting paid. And all the other players are saying, well, if you're giving him the max, I want the max too.
Beast, pay him what you pay in the mother and blah, blah. So there's a bunch of these. So he goes, so you want me to pay you more based off what people are saying? And I said, listen, man, again, I'm just saying, be fair. People are saying to you, they're buying subscriptions. People are saying to you, they only watch when I'm on. And of all the guys you had that were popular, I'm the last one standing. What's your take?
Yeah. It's a couple things. And you hit the ones that you needed to hit.
Yeah.
What do you have wanted?
That's beside the point. He asked him to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, a couple grand more.
Yeah.
But the thing that he's right in the idea that, yes, you have loyal fans that are calling up and representing you. That's great, and people have that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that moves the needle where it's going to pay him the amount of money that he wants to make off of an episode. Those diehards are there for you, but are they there? Is there enough of them to make the numbers work?
Chat, I'm so saddened, and this is why, despite what they ever say about me, I think I'm the fucking GOAT when it comes to this new media shit. And what I mean by that is, when I see all these guys with their platforms, whether it's a 1090 Jake, whether it's a Flacco or whoever, I see these guys who, I remember even looking at Flacco and saying, Flacco, there's two ways to go. You could go build your own platform, or you could be a host on No Jumper. It's just how it goes. And all of these guys, especially these younger, newer creators, they're all about building their shit to not be in this position. This is what I was saying about Boosie. I said, Boosie, you done gave away the milk. You're the cow that gave away the milk for free for mad long. Now you're expecting to, you should have been done this. I'm watching these guys who are veterans, 40, 50 years old, guys. They're really talented. But they're beholden now to what Vlad wants to value them. They don't have much other market value. I like Aries Spears' interview, but he's never done an interview. I don't see him doing that. I didn't even know he had this episode or this podcast. So he's not marketing himself to many other places that's down to pay him. And that's where I think Vlad isn't wrong. Until y'all come back to him with a competing offer, this is how it works. If you're in the NBA or you're in the job market, period, you usually say, hey, listen, I got to leave this job because I have a job offer that's offering me $5,000 more. And your employer gets to make the choice. Hey, do we care about this guy enough to bump up his pay to either meet or match, or exceed what our competitor or someone else in the market is down to give him? Or are we willing to let him go? It's like the NBA. When a player's a free agent, which all these guys are free agents, they get to go explore the field and find the best offer. The problem with Boosie, the problem with Aries Spears, and a couple of these guys is that y'all don't have no other offers. Y'all didn't. Vlad is focused on his business, but y'all never focus on y'all business. What y'all should have done is, I am a draw. Like, for example, I give you something. One of the reasons that I haven't done anything with Dr. Umar don't do no free interviews. Point blank, fucking period. If you're going to have Dr. Umar on your platform, he's hitting you with the check. Point blank, period. There's a booking fee. Dr. Umar ain't trying to talk to you for fun. I don't care what you're talking about. Even Joe Budden got to pay him. Trust. Now, Dr. Umar has a market of people who are paying him whatever amount at certain times. That is so if he asks someone for such and such amount of money and they're like, fuck no, he doesn't have to complain. He doesn't have to get online and say it. You know what he does? Okay, I'll just go to the next person. He's established the market. And also, if someone says, I don't think you're worth that much, he could literally show them, hey, I have 4 other offers that's saying that. What's up? That's the problem with most of these guys in this market. You know, y'all all were initially loyal to Vlad doing majority interviews for Vlad. And now y'all are trying to create a market when there is none. Yo, Vlad, give me a raise. And Vlad's like, why? Why would I give you a raise? Well, you know, brother, you have no numbers on no other platform except mine. Like, you're a bit of exclusive to me. That's the problem. Anyway, keep going.
Can you guys see the numbers so you can make that decision yourselves, you too? But the other thing is, the thing that you said, you're the last one there. So he's not going to generate numbers. And if you go, where are those numbers going to come from? Now he's going to have to do episodes with people who are doing much less.
Well, here's the funny part. So, of course, he, was being really like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, he kept driving that point home. You just going to you want me to give you a raise based off what people are saying? I said, listen, man, you don't have to keep telling me about what my worth is. You either want to do it or you don't. So then he texted me back a couple hours later and said, we should talk. I re-looked at the numbers and we should talk. So come on, man. What are we doing here?
Well, it's like in basketball. If you... and
I'm just, not to break your point, but I'm taking it from your angle, which is more so for me, I'm the last one left.
Yeah.
So there's value in my presence.
Yeah, because your numbers are going to go up based on just the fact that if they like Vlad and they like you and none of those other guys are there, they're going to have to go to you. It's like when you in basketball, you're trying to put a team together and you have you need a center. You have to have a center. You might have to take the 10th best center and pay him the center price for the 5th best center just to get him on your team because you need that player.
Right.
He needs you on this on this.
Right.
So that's the bargaining you have. The real side for him though is to go, Aries, these are numbers, these are real numbers. If I pay you this much, then we're good. I can't pay more than that. And as long as that's a raise for you, you're gonna. I think you would go, yeah, that's good. Don't just get me my. I want value.
Yeah,
that's all you're asking for. Yeah. You didn't say, like you just said, you didn't say, give me boozies amount. No. So you got to play fair. You got to play nice in this game.
Come on, man.
And if he has you on enough, anybody's going to build more and more momentum when they're on the show. So.
And Vlad is Russian. So my terms of negotiation is take money or die.
Dude, and Vlad loves coming out to your shows, man.
He loves coming out to my shows, but he loves it even more if I would shout him out. He's such a narcissist.
Dude, at the end of the show this last time, when he came back there where we all were, when Ryan Davis used me, and he just wanted to be part of that whole thing. He's jumping in pictures. He's trying to. Yeah. He loves it. He wants the attention. He wants to be a star, man.
He loves the attention, man. What do you got?
Okay. So I'm telling you, think Vlad has opened up Pandora's box. And a lot of people are going to start having self-reflection. Once they heard that 25,000, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So we're going to see what kind of happens next. Speaking of which,